Discuss the government's healthcare agenda, specifically its plans for the PLI schemes that are currently underway, is Arunish Chawla, the Secretary of the Department of Pharmaceuticals. Mr. Chawla, always a pleasure. Many thanks for joining us. We saw the Prime Minister inaugurating some projects today. Mr. Chawla, I want to understand from you, the pharma sector was the first sector to see the PLI schemes being rolled out and operationalized. If you can give us a status check of the quantum of investments made so far, as well as how many projects stand operational today.
Thank you very much. As you know, today is the Dhanvantri Divas, and we are celebrating it as the Health Day. And today the Honorable Prime Minister launched the PMJ, which is a very massive launch, a new initiative for the elderly citizens. And it will provide them free health care and free treatment. This is a very important and long-awaited initiative. In addition, to mark the Health Day and the Dhanvantri Divas, Honorable Prime Minister launched several health projects, including Jan Aushadhi Kendras, and he also launched the PLI, the major PLI projects. As you know, this is a very important component of Make in India initiative, and today, about 5 large PLI projects were selected, picked up for launch. And these projects are so massive that they will change the pharma and meditech landscape in the country. In these plants, they are all greenfield plants. They have come bottom up. And in these plants, coronary stents, heart valves, critical care equipment, body implants, they will all be manufactured within the country. And now they will meet our domestic demand, and they will also meet the export demand of other countries. This is a massive watershed moment. In addition to this, the Honorable Prime Minister also launched the penicillin and the clavulanic acid producing plants. As you know, these are basic molecules which are the basis of all popular antibiotics on the market, including ampicillin, amoxicillin, amoxiclav, augmentin. And when any industry matures to start making these basic molecules and fermentation product, it's a sign of great maturity. And that is what the Honorable Prime Minister launched today. And after, I would say, around 3 decades, these important molecules, this important industry, and the basis of pharma industry is now coming back to our shores. And we celebrated this today by encouraging everyone, and Make in India was at display, and with it, the pharma industry, the meditech industry, which has now become the 4th largest export manufacturing industry for the country, it's a pride moment for all.
Right. Well, lots to talk about, Mr. Chawla. Let's break this up. Let's pick up the pharma as well as the meditech PLI projects that you spoke of. The launch that was announced today of 5 projects, what's the cumulative investments on account of these 5 projects that were launched today by the Prime Minister? Mr. Chawla? Mr. Chawla, can you hear me?
Yes.
Seem to have lost that line, but could you hear me, Mr. Chawla?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I was asking you the 5 projects launched by the Prime Minister today. Could you give us the indicative number of what the investment entails?
The 5 projects launched today specifically involve a greenfield investment of 5,000 crores. But otherwise, in the PLI schemes put together, about 30 to 35,000 crores has already been invested. And this accounts for the 50 to 55 projects that have been launched so far. Another 30 in the pipeline. And more important than investment is what they have achieved. I mean, they have achieved Atmanirbharta for India. And they have achieved import substitution and saved us precious foreign exchange. And going forward, these industries are so competitive that they are now penetrating the export markets.
So if you can break up that for us in terms of the quantum of exports that we're now doing from India, what has been the incremental jump and what is the expectation over the next few years as more and more of these plants come on stream? And more importantly, in terms of import substitution, how much have we been able to curtail in terms of API imports?
As you know, for the pharma and meditech industry, this is a watershed moment. In the closing year, as per the data and the evidence that is available, half of India's pharma and biological output was exported. So in effect, as the moment we cross a 50% barrier, the industry officially becomes an export-oriented industry. In addition to that, we broke a very important stereotype, and that is that India is no more just an importer of bulk drugs. Last year, India exported as many bulk drugs as it imported. So we achieved for the first time in the closing year trade balance between imports and exports as far as bulk drugs are concerned. Going forward, there are 4 structural changes that are coming about in the industry. The industry is maturing fast, and the pharma industry is now moving upstream. There is a clear evidence of backward induction and backward integration with bulk drugs, drug intermediates, and starting materials, and so many PLI plants going live and producing APIs in the country. Parallelly, a biological and biosimilar ecosystem is now fast growing in the country. And if growth numbers are any evidence, then the biosimilars and the biological segment is now outpacing the growth in generics. And if I can give you some numbers, then already 100 biosimilars and complex generic molecules have been approved in our country, and 40 plus of them are in clinical development. This is among the highest anywhere in the world. In addition to this, a very rich and comprehensive CRDMO ecosystem is now developing in the country. CRDMO, as you know, stands for Contract Research Development Manufacturing Organization. This is a basic R&D industry which employs a large number of our graduates, large number of our engineers and technicians. And this industry is growing breakneck. As far as the latest data is that we have analyzed, the CRDMO industry in our country is now growing at 12 to 14%. And if you see the collateral evidence, see evidence of this in the markets abroad, in the closing year, 1/3 of abbreviated new drug applications in the US FDA, they came from the Indian sites, the Indian sources, and the Indian CRDMO industry. If you put all this together, pharma and meditech, which is presently around 70 billion, is poised to almost double by 2030. And going forward, the future is even brighter.
Right, Mr. Chawla, we will leave it there. Appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV18. That is the Pharma Secretary Arunish Chawla there on a status check of the PLI schemes as well as what they hold for the future. Up next, Nagpur Police